Uh, as you can see, it's really nice. Um, the view with the lights and everything. And like I said, I usually don't, I usually don't, uh, do this because, like, you know, um, I just don't want anyone to feel bad about, me being here. And, I don't know why someone would feel bad about me being here. You know, uh, like, I wouldn't feel bad if someone was on vacation. I'd be happy for them and, have them, you know, enjoy their life. And, you know, I wouldn't be mad about it at all. Uh, you know what I mean? Like, post the videos of you, uh, you know, on vacation, and enjoy it. Enjoy the vacation. And, you know, I usually don't post videos because, I just don't see the point in really posting these type of videos. Because, like, my brother one time, he told me, he said, you shouldn't film videos because you should just enjoy it with your own eyes. And that resonated with me because, like, a lot of people just, they go to a concert and they record footage and they don't even enjoy the concert because they're too busy recording footage. Um, but then they have footage for later on. So you just do whatever you want. I'm not better than anybody. Because I'm not better than anybody. I'm like, I'm not better than anybody. Um, cause, like, I don't want to sound like I'm better than anybody. Kind of sounds like that's what I'm saying. But I don't want it to sound like that. As you can see, like, there's lights in the back. Do whatever you want. If you want to record video footage and show off, then, do that. There's really, like, nothing wrong with that. Oh shit, there's another drone. This time I can zoom in on the drone. Let's see over there. But yeah, record the video footage and, you know, uh, enjoy the video footage and record it and all that. I usually don't wear glasses, but like, my characters on Xbox Live, because Xbox used to have avatars. The 360s used to have avatars, and you could put clothing on avatars. Like how Facebook has, the avatars, and you could put clothing, like, people, like little people, like, that you could put in the, and you could make your own person, and you could put your own clothes, and they have their clothes or whatever. They used to have that for the Xbox 360. And I would put on, dandy outfits, suits and glasses and shit like that. And I usually don't wear glasses. I'm not a glasses type of person. I mean, in my characters, they wear glasses, but, like, in real life, I don't really dress as dandy as, in real life. But, I got myself some glasses because, like, I like these round circle glasses. I usually don't wear glasses, and I figured, I'd just get myself some. And, because, I don't know, you know, I think I look nice. You know, I think I look good. You know, at least decent. You know, I want to look decent. You know, so you know, I'm happy and glad to have some glasses. So yeah. Some of the worst pain I've ever felt was you know, I was feeling some stomach pain, you know, and you know, it wasn't going away. It was unlike a normal stomach ache, and you know, my grandma, you know, she thought like she could help for some reason by like pushing in my stomach. I don't know why she thought that, but like uh you know, I told her to stop because it was hurting my stomach, and I was feeling it like it would go away and then the pain would come back. And you know, I told my mom, you know, like I have to go to the hospital, like I want to go to the hospital. I don't think this is, something's wrong with me. Like my instincts were telling me something was wrong with me. And she believed me, you know. And I know, like, you know, that's one of the, you know, bad things about America is, you know, insurance. If you don't have any insurance and you go to the hospital, they charge you a lot of money. But I really, really needed to go to the hospital, and my mom was really concerned. So she took me, and as she took me, the doctors checked up on me, and they found out that it was my appendix that bursted, and they fucking did some surgery on me, and they fucking took out my appendix, and you know, then, you know, the pain went away, and you know, I was in the hospital for, you know, a few months, and then, you know, I came back home, and I got some pizza, some Domino's pizza, and I watched, you know, Saving Private Ryan, and you know, that was like the worst pain I've ever felt. But you know, so, you know, thank God I went to the hospital, because, you know, the doctor said if I didn't, then I would have died. So there's another brush with death, I guess. So my dad used to take us out to the woods, and we used to go on these rapids, and you know, they went on boats, and then, you know, the people, some of them would just, because it was like, you would go up, you know, like a hill or up a mountain or whatever, and then you would go down, and it was like, there was like little waterfalls, you know, not too deep, you know, not like this, but like this, right? So like, you start off like on top right here, and you slowly go down, right, like that, you know, like that, right? And I wanted to go off the boat, you know what I mean? I thought like, fuck, I gotta try it off the boat. But like, you know, I was scared, but I wanted to do it. But like, I didn't ask my dad, and he didn't have me do it because I was just a little kid. But like, we went down the rapids, and it was super fucking fun. I had a really good time. And yeah, you know, I had a good time, and like, and one time I almost drowned. You know, I was, you know, there's this beach area with like sand and stuff, and like I went too deep into the river, and the river tide caught me, and I was drowning, and I was thinking like, this is it, this is the end, it's okay, you know, it's gonna be peaceful, right? But then I, you know, thought like, nah, someone's gonna come save me, someone's gotta save me, right? And like, I seen someone come, and they came and they saved me, and they, you know, grabbed me, and they noticed that I was drowning. You know, thank God for that. You know, I don't really, you know, I'm agnostic, you know what I mean? But, you know, someone was watching me that day, and I'm glad that you know, I didn't drown that day. And but yeah, that's like the first time I ever, almost drowned, close to death and shit. And the second time was, I was drowning, and my sister, she saved me, and I'm grateful for that. So yeah, like I like these glasses, you know, I think they look decent on my face, I think they look good, double chin, double chin, yeah, I got fat under my chin. I can't wait till I lose face fat. Like I realized when I was a kid, I started losing weight as a kid. Just I didn't. Because I would. I was an active kid. I wasn't like, lazy or on my ass all the time as a kid. I played sports. I went to the park and played some basketball, and I had a basketball eventually at my house, and I would play there. I'd play basketball and with my cousins and shit, and we would use the scooters. And I remember, when I was with my dad, because my mom and dad separated. She's probably gonna get mad if I said that, huh? I would play, with the kids in the neighborhood. And I remember one time they had this pocket bike, and they like drove. There's like this big ass hill, like it was a pretty big hill, and they drove the pocket bike down the hill, and I was like, it was actually adults that were doing that, and they had a pocket bike. It was awesome. I remember one time, like, these same adults, they were dropping me off home, and there's these hills that they would go to, and like they would like drive really fast and like drive off the hill, and it would, like, the car would jump up, and I hit my head on this pole one time, but it was super fucking fun, and I had a good time. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't mind that my head got hit this pole, because they had a racing car and shit. But it was really fun. Like, I went, to the rapids, and out in, like, the woods and shit. And there's this rapid rivers, and we would go, like, on boats. And some people would go without, some of our, our people that were with us would go without, and not go in the boat. They would go on and have lifesavers and shit, vests. So yeah, it was awesome. Today I went for a swim, which I haven't really done in a very long time. And I noticed that, like, the adults, that were in the pool, they weren't splashing around, and like, the kids were all splashing around and stuff like that. I jumped in, I was like, that's how I do it. I jump in. I don't go, dip my toes, and I just jump straight in. But like, I noticed that, like, the adults, they're more calmer now, and they're not splashing around. Like me, I just swam. You know what I mean? I was trying to, like, get in a little workout and, like, swimming like I'm Michael Phelps or something. And I made it, like, there was, like, about, like, 50 feet, and I made it to 50 feet swimming, and then I tried to do 50 feet again, going back to where I was at. And I made it about, like, halfway there, and then I got tired. Swimming is, it's cardio, man. And then I did it like a couple more times, and then I stopped. But most people were just getting tans, and I tried to get a tan, but like then I stopped. So it was kind of boring, just, you know, getting a tan. And, you know, I don't really care, like, that I'm white, you know. Like, I'm not white, I'm Mexican, but, like, my skin's white, you know. But, like, I don't really need a tan or anything like that. I mean, I do, some people might say you do need a tan, but I don't, you know, I don't feel like I do, you know. So I went back in, again, and I did some, like, you know, cartwheels in the pool, which was pretty cool. But yeah, I had a good time, you know, in the water and shit like that. And I guess my point is, like, you know, there's, you know, activities that you used to do as a kid that, like, you shouldn't do as an adult, but, like, there's also some activities that, like, some adults, you know, should do, but, like, you know, obviously, you know, being responsible and is important. You know what I mean? Yeah.